Boom. I didn't forget this time. Beautiful. All right. Jenna is in the building. All right. All right. What's going on, everybody? Got Jenna in the building. Welcome. Welcome. All right. All right. Everybody hear me okay? My hair is out of control today. All right. That's good mango juice. Oh, that automatically blurred out? Oh, okay. All right. So, starting out here, actually, hold on. One last thing, real quick. Mike broke it. My bad, King. Oh, you good, man? I'm all the way locked in. This is King. Okay, I was wondering who that was. King Print. What's going on? What's going on, brother? All right. Got the kids out here enjoying life. All right. Let me see. Just checking for any last minute messages in the Discord. Peace and love, always. Peace and love. Yes. Okay. Right. All right. Let's get going. Those who are not making it are not going to miss out. All right. So, um, King Print, you ever been in here before? I don't know if you've been in any of the Zooms before. If not, okay. So this is both of your all's first time. Beautiful. So how we do the Zooms whenever we have, like whenever we don't have a course or something, any specific material, we will good, good. We will have a space to one kind of like introduce ourselves to any new people, let the new people introduce themselves, kind of maybe what steered them to want to become a mentee as far as, maybe what things you're working on or, what spiritual disciplines or understandings you're kind of wanting to build or cultivate or anything. Um, and then also all of the other mentees who have been here before, they will share, have space to share like where they're at with their exercises and things like I know Jenna, you said you started the concentration exercises already, so that's good. Not really like enough time to have enough of an experience to really like share what the experience has provided you so far. But I mean, maybe who knows? But after a week or two, as you'll go along, you'll have more questions, more insights, and can share kind of what that experience is for you. Then I can give feedback on ways to deepen the experience and kind of adjust and shift your perspective or approach to kind of get more out of it. All right, V's in the building. What's going on? So
Good evening.
yeah, good evening. Good evening. The G and Jenna is their first time in here. So I was just running down to them how like whenever we have a course, any coursework, uh, we do that on the second half, and the first half is kind of dedicated to the mentees and kind of sharing what you're going through with your experiences on your exercises and how to continue to grow further and deeper and just get a little guidance and mentorship on kind of your approach towards your own spirituality and soul growth. So maybe V, let's start with you. Any dreams lately? Michelle's in the building.
Oh man, you got me good there. I had to come back out here so that the family can't hear this.
Okay. Gotcha. I gotcha. I know how.
Okay. So
That's
my
all.
name is actually Holly, and so
Okay.
V or Vi is short for Vibrania. Is
Mhm.
this persona I came up with when I was designing, and it was this persona that came out of the start of my awakening, right?
Mhm. Yep.
So that's the backdrop. So I haven't
Nice.
slept, I haven't had a dream in over a year. I don't even remember the last time I
Mhm.
dreamed,
Okay.
except this one, which just
Oh, okay.
happened.
Okay. Nice.
So the other night, um, I'm in bed, I'm asleep, and I'm lying down at the foot of the bed because I fell asleep on my phone. And I have been medicated, so I'm thinking I'm just high. But at some point, I know I sat straight up in the bed, and I sat straight up because I heard somebody trying to come in, but I think they had knocked or rang a bell. I can't remember what it was, or something that got my attention. I was aware of their presence, and they wanted to come in, and I shot straight up, and I remember being told not to pay attention when that happens, to ignore them because they'll come with their buddies. And since that had never happened to me before, I was like, I wonder if this is one of those cases. But I didn't feel a sense of, I didn't feel a sense of fear.
Good. Good.
So I just said, like, I would like for you to come in, but you can only come in if you leave when I ask you to, and if you don't bring anyone with you. And she agreed. And so I got excited and giddy and was like, am I really talking right now? Am I imagining this? Because I cannot see her straight on. I can only see her out the corner of my eye, and it's in the dark anyway. And I did not know, like, is this a spirit? Is this a guardian angel? Like, what is this? Who is this? And that's I felt like I wasn't going to get an opportunity to ask a lot of questions. And so I had to figure out what my most important question would be, and I had to ask that. And so that was my question, which was, who are you? What is your name? And she answered back, Vi. And I just remember being happy. And then I don't remember anything else.
Wow. And when was this dream? Just last night?
Coup- No, 2 nights ago.
2 nights ago? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. Beautiful. And so, what
And I
experience?
remember
Oh,
it.
go ahead.
I
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
remember it. I remember it. I remember it vividly. I cannot believe I remember it this vividly. And so I don't know if I was high or was that a dream, because I was asleep.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it was a very real experience either way. Um, what happened after she said that? Did you wake up or go unconscious?
I must have gone unconscious because I don't remember anything else but being happy,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
joyful.
Okay. And so, you said so. Well, first, what do you prefer? Vibrania, Holly?
Vi is good.
Okay, okay. Um, and so when you said you kind of birthed this when you first had your kind of awakening, what
Yes, when my awakening started.
yeah, so what stimulated the process into one doing that and then how you got to Vibrania?
Um, what stimulated the process into what?
Like you said, you came across like me, Tarak Uday. I had I had the specific experience that I had was through meditation one day, like about 6, 7 months into like my awakening. And it was like an awareness of beyond my body. It was more than an out of body experience. It was also an out of soul experience beyond my soul, and then beyond my spirit, my real self, and my true essence. And so for me, I knew that, this physical body, this one singular life is so temporary. I wanted to just have a different name in identification of my true self beyond the single life that this body lives, the hundreds of lives, thousands of lives that the soul lives, and the long essence that the spirit uh, resides in. And so then that's and then eventually I came to the name Taraku Day through another experience. Um, so just similar to that, what led you to initiate coming up with Vibrania and kind of like what just a little bit, unless you don't want to share, that's fine too.
No,
But I
no,
think
no.
there's a strong
It's
connection.
fine. I I had done a course. I'd gotten my Reiki 1 and Reiki 2 certification,
Mhm.
and I was preparing for that. And in preparing for that, and actually, the Reiki master I was going through was a relatively new friend that I have this incredible attachment to, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
And she has facilitated this awakening for me. And everything I've learned from her so far, or up until the point where I asked, hey, can you train me so I can try to heal myself? Um, everything, it it just seemed to start to answer so many questions I've had for the 49 years I've been on this earth.
Yeah.
And I said, well, let me do this. And so then during my attunement, or the day of my attunement for the Reiki 2,
Mhm.
um, I was writing in my book. I was writing in my journal, and I drew her. I kind of like sketched her, but I had seen her already in a design app I was working with.
Mhm.
And then later on, I went and I just put the two together, and I went into, Canva, and I put her together, and I was like, I put the specific color in her of the vibranium, or I tried to, which reminded me of vibranium from Black Panther,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. Um, I I remember looking at vibranium, I guess that's supposed to, oh, what's the, I can't think of the name of the actual um gemstone I'm thinking of that's very scarce. What is that called over there? Not a diamond, but the purple one, the purple blue one.
Amethyst.
No, I
Uh,
can't think of it, but it reminds me of that, and then I think about the power of what that movie represented, just the
mhm.
mystical part of it.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
said, it filled me with that. It filled me with wonder about the
Mhm.
world again. And so I was like, that's going to be me. And so I put
Yeah.
my name on the outside. The name on the outside of the journal just says Vibranium.
Nice, nice. Yeah, so with this being a connection with Reiki, because at first I was wondering if the two main things or three main things that I was thinking that this experience that you had in your dream could have been connected to. One, just a regular dream experience, and it's just a regular aspect of yourself. That didn't seem that likely. Especially because you have it's not like you've been remembering dreams for like the last 3 weeks, haven't been remembering for a long time and then for the last 3 weeks. No, it's like haven't been remembering for a long time and then this one. So it was
Right.
less of a
Right.
and it sounds like it happened right when you fell asleep, right? Like
I
almost
don't
right
know if it
away.
was I would assume so.
Okay.
I would assume so, but I really
Yeah.
don't have any concept of time that night.
Yeah. It just feels that way when you say it. And so I mean maybe not, but that's kind of like the feeling I got when you were describing it. Um,
Hmm.
and so if that is true, then that's even more of a thing that it's probably some being that's not, part of your own mind. So my initial first thing was it could have been your subconscious mind as a whole personifying itself, um, because it used the name Vibrania, or it could be a spirit guide. And now, just real quick, spirit guides are not like I don't know what anybody's thoughts or beliefs on spirit guides, but really it's not like your spirit guide is some all wise, all knowing spirit there to guide you. We have a soul group. You don't have a soul mate. Your own soul is your soul mate. Some people do have twin flames, but it's not like it's your own soul splitting into two bodies just so it can learn twice as fast. That's it. Um, and but you do have a soul group, meaning a group of souls that you continually incarnate into, creating different dynamics and different relationships because all are kind of on similar lessons and stages of learning and growth as a soul. And so sometimes you come into a life and others stay behind and you mix it up, every time you kind of get around to going into physical bodies, some of you will stay behind to help and assist. And you help and assist, but you also are able to learn through observing. Like all of us can identify things we've learned in life from experiences we've had. But I'm sure all of us can also realize things that we've learned through watching other people go through some shit. Like part of the reason I don't have any kids right now is because when I was 16, 17, 18, 19, my cousins and my friends were starting to have accidents and have babies, and I saw how their life was completely transforming. It was like, oh, okay, let me learn from your experience. And then by
Hmm.
the time, I came to a point in my life where I'm financially responsible and, mentally and emotionally responsible, then, I still don't have any, but that's a different reason. But anyways, at a very young age, when I wasn't ready, that's why, because I learned from other people. So our, our spirit guides that's how they benefit is because they can learn through watching what we go through as well, and we switch off, but anyways, it could have been a spirit guide. um I just wanted to say that because I think sometimes people, when they talk about spirit guides, they give them a lot more power than they really have, or like almost like deify them in a sense. So I just wanted
That's
to
good
share.
to know. I appreciate you sharing that because I still am learning what all of this means.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah,
needed to hear that.
good, good. And so it could be that. And it it also I also think that it's less, I'm pretty certain it isn't just like an aspect of yourself like a normal dream person. um and it could be your soul personified, but I don't think that that's the case, mainly because it knocked, before coming in. And so that's also a sign that this is, a beneficial, you know, entity that's has your best interest in mind, wanting to respect your space.
Right.
it initiated and instigated an energy in you of, okay, let me let you know I am going to allow you in, but you must respect my boundaries. And so
Right.
entered in, and which was beautiful, a beautiful approach to it for yourself. That's awesome. I loved hearing you say that. And um, and I also really love that you said you didn't have any fear, because that was huge and key. But another thing that it could be, based upon going back to what I first started, since you tied it, your name coming from the Reiki attunement, and from, I've never studied Reiki, so I don't fully understand and know the things within Reiki, because I haven't experienced it, but I have a lot of friends and things, and I'm fairly familiar with it. And so a lot of it is working with different ascended masters. And so it very well could be, an ascended master, master teacher
Oh,
coming
wow.
to you, So, either way, if it's a spirit, your spirit guide trying to, connect with you and share something with you, or or a master teacher, essentially, there wasn't really anything transferred. But I think the purpose of an experience like that, like this, usually is for motivation, to for you to have an experience, to then know, okay, people talk about these things. I've read some about these things. I've seen videos about these things, but now I've had an experience. And so, you aren't really to a point where you just know that it's true, because you don't quite know what that experience is. But you did have an experience, and so there is a level of knowledge, because it was, sounds like you kind of understand this wasn't a regular dream, and
Right.
so you do have so it's like what we're what we were talking. I think you might have missed last week, but I don't know if it was, I don't know which week it was, but we were talking about the universal law of manifestation, which is also the universal law of believing and knowing, right? A belief is just a thought you continue to think. So and our thoughts create our reality. So, excuse me, sorry. So the more you think a thought, the more you will experience the realization, the reality of that thought coming to fruition and manifesting. And then you're creating experience, which will just strengthen your belief, which will then create stronger experiences, which will then strengthen your belief, which will create such strong experiences that you then know that it's true, because you've experienced it enough. Whereas this
Okay.
is like an instigation into that. So
Right.
okay, you now have an experience that, of yourself outside of your body. Like you said, but you said you didn't know if you were high, or because you're meditation, or what's going on. But I was not in my body, and then also experienced a different entity outside of yourself that was there for your benefit. And so there's a level of understanding and knowing that this is real, which will then strengthen your belief as you continue to go deeper with your practices and disciplines, to where you will have stronger experiences until you get to a point where, oh, okay, I know who this was. And I know them well now, and I know what they're here for, and what they can benefit from me and what I can benefit from them. Okay, beautiful. Um, and so that's a lot of times with an experience like this, if it's either of those two, a spirit guide, or ascended master, master teacher, it's for one of those two reasons in the way that this happened. Just kind of like make a presence, and that's kind of it. It's to kind of motivate you to remain disciplined and continue to go deeper.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the fact that I couldn't see her like
Mm,
straight on,
okay.
like my
Interesting.
eyes were open. I felt like my eyes were open, but when the room is dark, everything looks like shadows. So I could see a shadow in the left corner, in the corner of my left eye,
Mhm.
and it was like a form, and it was changing, and I knew that that was her. Like, I even though I didn't hear her voice, when I heard her talk in my head, I knew that that was the direction she came from.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't even know
Okay.
if that makes sense. That sounds really weird.
Yeah. So that just may have been the way that they wanted to present themselves, just more of a feeling versus a visual. Um, and that may be for your own comfort, because
Yeah,
who knows
probably
how you
because
may
my
have
feet,
responded to the experience
exactly,
had they.
exactly, because my feet were at the top of the bed by my husband's head. I probably would have jumped and kicked him.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, it may have been to make you more comfortable until you get to a point, a level of comfort where, you know, they can physicalize, or not really physicalize, but create a form, a visual form for you to experience them that way. If that's something that you want to continue to cultivate and build and deepen and have more experiences with, there's a book by Ted Andrews, um, called, what's it called exactly? How to meet your spirit guides, I think. Give me one second, I'm gonna grab it.
Oh, thank you.
All right, here we go. Or can you read? Oh,
Hold on one second.
I'm gonna put
Wait, wait,
background blur on. Is
right
that
there.
backwards? Okay, hold on. See if I can.
No, I got it.
Oh, you did get it?
Yeah, I did a screenshot. Oh
I
wait,
have my
where'd it
face
go?
in with it, apparently.
Yeah, it keeps. I
Okay,
can't
here
see. Yeah, I'll
I'll just
find
type
it.
it in the chat.
Okay, that'll work. Thank you.
Yeah. That was way too much.
I think it's because you have the
A blur
the
background.
blur.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Nice. That is a beautiful dream, though.
I can't, but I'm wondering, like, did that car accident, did I know I have a concussion. Did it
Mhm.
jog something that loosened up my ability to recall my dreams or to dream again?
Maybe. I mean, it could even be something that you designed before you were born. It's like, I have a friend who they had like an extreme illness, and then their spiritual awakening happened immediately after that. Myself, like I was dying. Like if I didn't wake up, I probably would have died. My soul was probably like, okay, let's cut our losses and start over. This round didn't work like we wanted it to, because my life was headed in a totally different direction. And
Sounds like mine.
yeah, and so it was probably, I understand that that is something that souls do at times, and so for me, it's almost, other than other than having the memory of actually setting that up, I'm certain that that's what I did, as a soul. All right, if I get too far off course, have these physical, ailments occur in order to instigate me to learn how to heal them miraculously within 30 days. Like this is like stuff that was going on for 2 years, 3 years, or 2 years and 1 year. And I got little videos telling those stories, so we don't need to waste our time here. But I had that happen in order to bring myself back on course. So I mean, it could be something that you had have experienced in order to kind of have some different biological changes that allowed for different things, or it could just be a manifestation, that you kind of unconsciously manifested, as you've been moving through life now. And so, you know, who knows either way, but I'm glad that you're okay, and I'm also glad that you're having these experiences. I
Thank you,
do
and
know,
thank
I do
you.
know that. You're welcome.
And thank you for creating a space where I can come and figure it all out.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, definitely. I'm grateful for that as well. Nice. So, have you been doing any of like the concentration exercises?
I didn't.
Okay.
And I do apologize for that, but I've
No,
been
no.
in a very depressed
Yeah, go
state.
ahead. Continue sharing. Okay. Yeah, one, no need to apologize for me at all. That's why I really like to continue to hold the form of a mentor. I'm truly am a mentor. I'm not a teacher. You're not getting a grade from me. I say it all the time. I'm not a coach. I'm not going to pull you out of the game for your performance. You know what I mean? This is your journey, not mine. I have my own journey and I'm only concerned with my own discipline. Um, but I will I asked that one specifically, not necessarily like, are you writing down your dreams? Are you doing it, practicing any visualization, any manifestations, working with the lists that were in the other videos that we talked about. I mostly was asking about concentration because of the experience that you had and this book that I shared with you, and the fact that concentration and your level of concentration and how strong that is going to be the biggest factor in how successful you are with recreating such experiences.
Okay. Well, that's interesting because my concentration level's been horrible to the point where I mean, it's kind of been like hand in hand with my depression in the toilet for like the last couple of weeks. So I just literally got my new ADHD medicine today and took it like this evening. So I'm looking forward to now that I have started to dream,
Mm-hmm.
and now that I've got my medicine and it'll get back in my system or get in my system, that I'll be able to concentrate better and that'll help the dreaming. Is that what you're alluding to?
No, just that you're like the medicine will help, will be an outer stimulus that will create a condition for you to be able to concentrate better. But whether you're taking it or not, your own power over your attention, just from your mind, your concentration ability, that is going to be vital as far as this experience just happened for you, right? You didn't lay down that night saying, okay, I'm gonna go and wake up in my dream
Mhm.
and have an experience, so
Mhm.
as far as this book isn't going to teach you or give you anything that's allows you to just randomly have it happen again. No, the information in there is how to make it happen. And your level of concentration is going to help you in making it happen. Where it's like, okay, tonight I'm going within and I'm going to get these answers. I'm going to seek out this entity and see if they will agree to meet with me. Instead of a
Mm.
knock at the door, you're sending off a messenger, a little pigeon bird, to see if they'll get it and come back, kind of thing.
Okay.
Or just other things that you want to do. You want to go in and just experience your dreams in a much more vivid way, or whatever you want to do. One, the concentration is going to be vital as far as your capability of successfully shifting your consciousness from your physical body to your astral body to have said experiences. Because the room that you were seeing with your astral eyes. Your the presence you were feeling with the astral sense of feeling. You were hearing with the astral sense of hearing. And so your ability to shift your consciousness without going unconscious is going to be determined by your level of concentration, your power to control your attention. But also, when you do make it out, attention is, you are where your attention is. So your ability to control how you navigate and where you go and being able to remain somewhere is also going to be determined by your level of concentration, because you are where your attention is. So if you can control your attention, you can control where you are at. That's why, like I said, it was so key that you didn't have any fear. because if you did move into fear, that person probably would have seemed like they disappeared because you would have moved to a whole different state, which would have created a whole different space. And then they were still remaining in that other state, that other space, that other vibration. And then, who knows what would have manifested off of the new state of fear that you were in, and so
Right.
you are where your attention is. So if you want to go somewhere while you're in there or remain where you're at in your room, you need to be able to control your attention. And so that's why I was saying that your concentration will be vital to recreating these experiences. And then that's also why I was asking where you were at with it, not to, make you feel bad or anything, but just to get an idea and really just to open up that conversation to share with you the importance of it. And so, you're at a point right now where, okay, maybe you didn't do it at all last week or even since you've gotten to that accident, which I think was last Wednesday, maybe it sounded like last week we were talking about it.
Last Tuesday.
Okay, last Tuesday, so the day before. So, and maybe you didn't do it for the whole week before that. Okay, who cares? As long as you do it once this week, that's progress, you know. So and not only is it going to benefit this, it will benefit anything and everything in your life. Like truly. I mean, attention is your number one commodity. If you want something to be done, you have to be able to put your attention on it. If you
Right.
want to change something about yourself, you first have to have your attention on it, to be aware of it. And I think as far as the depression, what I would one, the attention will help with that because as you strengthen your attention, you're going to increase your awareness of your thoughts. And thought is cause. If we go here to here, we can see that our thoughts originate here. And as the thoughts manifest, they have to move through what in order to physicalize? The emotional level. And so your emotions influence the physical because they're right adjacent to it. But deeper than that are the thoughts that have generated those emotions. So, with the level of concentration increasing your awareness of your thoughts, it will put you in a better position to know what thoughts are at the cause of the emotion that you're experiencing. And then, along with that as well, have you ever seen a video or heard in any of these things me talk about the long breath?
Long breath or long
Yeah,
death?
the long breath, like breathing, the long breath.
I can't recall at the moment. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, you're fine. So the long breath is a technique that will help to alleviate the actual experience of a negative emotion. So if it gets to be intense, you can do it for like 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how intense the emotion is. And it won't necessarily do anything about like uprooting out of this mental level here, but it will alleviate and remove like the emotional charge in that present moment. Um, and so all it is, it's very simple. You just take a long breath, you know, a long, deep, slow breath. And you continue to breathe that way, just making your breath longer and longer, slower and slower, deeper and deeper. You just breathe like that for like 5 to 10 minutes. And it's impossible for an unproductive negative emotion to remain while you're breathing like that. And likewise with okay, uh I'll answer that in a second. Um likewise, a positive emotion when you're breathing like that will increase. But but yeah, so give it a try. Um
I like that. That seemed, I was trying to do that as you were saying that, and it required a lot of concentration.
yeah. Yeah, because we naturally breathe very shallow, for the most part.
Mhm.
And so filling up your whole lung, I mean, it causes you to, it can be a little uncomfortable too sometimes. Because it's like, okay, I did it 5 times. Do I have to keep going? Like, yeah, that's only been 1 minute. you know. Um, but another thing that will help with alleviating and completely removing the emotion is something called um, rhythmic breathing. And so Oscar sent me a message asking, speaking of breath work, what's the song you had going on TikTok Live? And then there was another question here. How do we get there completely for all the lessons? I'm not sure what you mean by that exactly, but you can clarify a little bit. But I'm gonna put the specific song. Actually, I'll I have a whole playlist on Spotify, so I'm gonna put that in the Discord chat. Chakras and energy healing channel.
Ooh, gracias, gracias.
Wait, oh, I was going to. Oh, okay, I didn't copy it. There we go. Okay, so the Spotify playlist is going to be in there, um, and that'll have the name of the song. The very first song is the song you're asking about, Oscar. Um, but anyways, the rhythmic breathing is you want to do it to music, so you can just hit this playlist and let it run, and it'll be for like 45 minutes. Um, Ideally, you want to do it with like someone with you, like someone that loves you, that loves you, because it'll create a very vulnerable state. It'll put you in. And so when you're done, it's very beneficial for someone that loves you to be there when you open your eyes. And you can do it by yourself. You're fine. But another benefit is they will help you to keep breathing in the breathing pattern that it requires. Um, because a lot of times, like you'll when you're breathing like this, you're going to supercharge your body not only with prana and divine energy, but you're going to supercharge it. Beautiful, Jenna. You're going to supercharge it with oxygen as well. So it'll get to a point where especially after like 10, 15 minutes, where your body's just like, dude, we don't need more air. We don't need more anything. So you'll just like naturally want to stop, like not stop breathing, but just like stop breathing in that pattern to where you just go back to a very soft, shallow breath. And so having someone there to, touch you, hey, keep breathing. Oh, okay. It is good. And then also, sometimes because like right before something comes up to be released, and it's not like, because this technique is also like it melts away trauma and the effects of trauma. But it's not like the traumatic event has to be re-experienced and you have to rehash it and relive it and everything. For it, no, no. But the release of it is coming to the surface. And a lot of times, because we want to remain unconscious to it, right before that happens, when you're doing this breathing, you'll tend to fall asleep and go unconscious. And then thus the breathing pattern stops and you just go to a very normal, shallow breathing. So it's also for that reason good to have someone there to say, hey, keep breathing, keep breathing in the same breathing pattern to allow you to really push through and process this and allow it to release. Now, one thing that I always have to make sure I share, the only thing to look out for and really be aware of, not really look out for, but be aware of, is that after sometimes, especially like your first 10 times doing it, the muscles of your arms and hands and feet and legs and jaw sometimes will sometimes for some people, for a lot of people, most people, lock up and seize up because the muscles will tighten, like all the muscles will tighten. So you'll be sitting there breathing like, and like 3 minutes later, it'll go back. But what's happening is your body, the breathing is putting your body in such a relaxed state that the deep tension that's in your body and in the muscles is coming to the surface. So you just have to keep breathing and it'll go away. Um, Now, I mean, I've never had anyone have a problem with that. I've never had a problem with it, but I have been a part of different groups, that I just go and join and check out. And turns out they're doing this breathing, and the facilitator doesn't let people know about that, mainly because they maybe just don't understand to the fullest what this breathing does. Maybe they, like you all have experienced it through like either some of the TikTok lives. I'll do it for like 5 minutes, or however, experience through me, and then run off and go and do it with a group of people, without fully understanding like just the mechanics of what's happening. And so, the group doesn't know. And so sometimes people like who don't know what's going on will come out of it like, whoa, what was that? That scared the shit out of me because I felt like I might have been paralyzed. You said keep breathing. I didn't want to keep breathing because the unawareness creates fear. Fear is a matter of unawareness. So they were unaware, so it created fear. Anytime I for me, it's never been an issue because I was always aware before going into it. Other people I've done it with, they've always been aware going into it. So there's never been an issue, but that's what is happening. And so it's also good to let the person know who may have never done it before that's helping you, like, hey, if you see me season up like this, it's not your whole body shaking or anything. It's just your arms tightening up. Like if you see this, or my feet straightening out straight out, just touch me and remind me to keep breathing and breathe through it. But it's totally fine. It's part of the process. It's also more shit being released. And as far as like the trauma and stuff, it's just like literally like the fucking trash can. You're just tying it up and throwing out the trash. You're not like digging through it, reassessing like, is this really trash? Yeah, of course it's trash. That's why you put it in the trash. Take it out to the bin outside. Just let it go. And so that's kind of the discourse of how you would go through it. The actual technique itself is it's just a simple through the mouth inhale, exhale, more breathing with your chest than your abdomen. But it's like you force the inhale and allow the exhale. So it's like like picking up a phone. You grab and force the phone to pick up, and then you allow the phone to drop. Pick it up, let it go on its own. Pick it up, let it go on its own. So the breath is like I'm forcing the inhale, then I'm allowing the air to just leave on its own. But it's creating a rhythm, right? So that's where the music comes in, and why the music is so important is because it helps you keep that rhythm. So like this. Oh wait, whoops! I shared the wrong thing. Delete that and share this one. That one I shared was the completely wrong one. All right, one second. There we go. There we go. Oops. I don't know where my microphone is, but can you hear that? So that music will help you keep the rhythm, keep that pace. And that rhythm and pace will intensify just how much energy and divine energy and vitality globules within the oxygen fill within your system, right? And so like the first 10 to 15 minutes, and I think maybe like next week we'll just we'll save the last visualization course and just do this. Or actually, I might set up. I might do like a weekend thing because I have a lot more free time on weekends, and maybe I'll take a poll on all of the times that I'm available and see who has the most availability on any of those, and we'll just do a Zoom where we all will do it for like 45 minutes, give ourselves an experience. One thing with that though, we'll definitely want to be on camera for everybody. That way, I can see, what you're experiencing. Because if you're, like season up like this, I need to, tell you like, hey, Vi, hey, relax, just continue breathing. It's okay, just to remind you. Or if I see you kind of like falling asleep, hey Michelle, wait, keep breathing, you know, don't fall asleep. Or like sometimes, as some things are coming up, you might start making a face like this because you're, releasing some sort of like sadness or anger or something, and so you start making this, face. And so, if I see something like that, then it's like, hey, relax, keep breathing, relax, let it go. You're okay. You're just here breathing with all of us. And then, that kind of helps. Like, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Why am I all scrunched up in my face? I'm just sitting here breathing. I'm not, you know. And so like things like that is very good to be aware of to help facilitate it. So that'll kind of like be a requirement to be on screen because I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it with anybody, and it kind of be pointless if you fall asleep, 20 minutes in right before you get good, because like the first 10, 20 minutes are kind of like climbing a hill to really get to the point where, I mean, like the experience is like you could have, Vibrania come back and visit you and have that same experience in a whole different way while we're doing this breathing. That is completely not unheard of in the slightest. But anyways, um, it'll take like the first 10 to 15 minutes to really get into it. So that's another thing to kind of be aware of is um, the first 10 to 15 minutes is kind of hard because especially because like the ego is really battling with the conscious mind of like, hey, why are you doing this? What are you doing this for? Uh-oh, are you about to hyperventilate? You better watch out. And then all you're doing is breathe. If you do get into a state of hyperventilation, that's totally fine. That just means that the breathing has taken over, and just allow it and continue breathing. We're doing it for 45 minutes. That feeling is going to go away well before the 45 minutes. You're fine. You know, just breathe through it. And if for anybody who does have like panic attacks, and with the hyperventilation and things, this is perfect for getting rid of that. I mean, it'll get rid of that within like 2, 3 sessions maximum. But anyways, you will eventually, after like 20 minutes, the breathing will definitely by then the breathing will kind of just like take over on its own. And so then that's when a lot of like spiritual shit happens, like experiences happen, and a lot of shit just like comes up. And like I had one time I couldn't stop laughing for like an hour, just because like all of the things that I had come into that session with, as far as like issues and problems and things, just seemed, it was just hilarious. Like every time I thought about it, every thought that I had about it was funnier and funnier. and and it provided so much relief, and I was so light for a long time. And that wasn't even as much as the other time I think I've shared before this one where I wept for like 4 hours. And I don't, I still can't tell you what it was about. I don't know, but I felt like light as a feather for like a month. The very first time I did it, I felt like a cell phone battery on 120% charged. I was juiced up. I felt like I could have done anything after I got done that first time. But so there's different experiences you'll have each time, depending on what you're needing to work through and release and let go of. But yeah, so that was a really long explanation to a suggestion for permanently eliminating your depression and your experience of it. It's not yours. Let it go at any time.
Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So yeah, I'm fully booked this weekend and will not have any space for anything like that. But I'm gonna see if I can. block off some space and we can do it next weekend in some way, like either Friday evening, Saturday even like Friday night or Saturday evening or night, like this, like 8:30 or something, or Sunday, sometime on a Sunday, earlier on in the Sunday until like 8 o'clock, and we just need to block off like 2 hours, 30 minutes to just rehash all of that I just shared and answer any questions before we get into it. 45 minutes to an hour of doing it because like the last 15 minutes is just regular breathing, just sitting there for a minute and just like resonating in the space that you just created, the vibration you just created for yourself, which is just as powerful as the rest of the experience. Sometimes, sometimes you'll be sitting there like just regular breathing for like 5-10 minutes, and then out of nowhere, you just start doing it again. It's funny. But anyways, so great. Anybody have any questions on that? Because that was a lot I just shared.
Yes, I got some questions.
Okay.
All right, are
Dan's
we
back
ever
in the
gonna do
building.
the rhythmic breathing? We ever gonna do the rhythmic breathing?
Are we going to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it. I mean, like right now, you're saying?
Oh no, not right now. Like,
Oh,
are we
okay,
ever
okay.
gonna do it like
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Zoom
that's what
call
I
or
was. Yeah, that's what I was saying at the end. Um, I'll go ahead and put like a poll in the Discord chat and leave it up there for like the next 5 or 6 days, maybe till like next Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, maybe like next Monday, and to where we can vote on what time frame to do it on next weekend, not this. Excuse me, sorry, not this weekend, but next weekend. So we'll do it then.
something. All right.
I think maybe we can, if there's enough interest and desire, we can make it like a monthly thing for the mentees here.
All right, bet. Well,
Yeah.
I'm definitely fine with that. I got another question.
Okay.
What about if you visit places out of a dream that you already visited? Like,
Mhm.
let me give you some more. I don't even know what the word is. So I had a dream, like maybe a few years back, maybe longer, that we just moved to a little place and I had my own little small house and stuff. And I was just chilling in that house eating, but I don't remember no other part of that dream. So last night I visited that house, but since I didn't clean up none of the food there, it was all molded. So I was throwing the food away and stuff. And once when I walked in the door, I was a little confused because it looked way more vivid than normal. Like I wasn't aware that I was in a dream. It's just when I'm in a dream, I used to stuff looking all sloppy and blobby, but it was way more vivid than normal. Like I could see the whole patterns and stuff inside of the carpet and chairs and tables instead of it just being blocky and stuff. I could see all that stuff, and I saw
Yeah.
little visual mold pieces on the food. But yeah, I went to that house and I cleaned it. I mean, I didn't finish cleaning. I got like the half of it, and then I think I woke up. But that was one of the dreams that I remember from last night.
Okay.
You know what that is?
So you're saying you went to the same place twice in two different dreams?
Yeah, but the first time it was years ago.
Ah, okay, okay. So places represent states of mind, right? Like the space you're in, the place you're in right now is its purpose, because like we were talking about and have learned in the dream interpretation masterclass, the language of the mind is in a language of form and function. So what is the form? What is that form's function? And how does that function relate to the consciousness? So a place is the form. The function is giving you a space to exist. So this is the space where I'm existing. A place is the space I'm existing. The place I'm in, space I'm existing. And how does that relate to the consciousness? The space you are existing within your consciousness, your state of mind. That's the space you're existing. So consciousness is dual. There's the state of consciousness and the content of consciousness. Like if I'm in an angry state of mind, the angry state of mind, that's the state of consciousness. And then the content are the different thoughts that make up that state of mind, right? The different thoughts that are fueling my anger, you know, or maybe depression is the state of mind. And then the content are the different thoughts that are fueling and filling that state of mind, right? So you were in a similar state of mind in either last night or whenever this dream was to the state of mind you were in years ago when you had this dream before. But you're cleaning things up, so you're improving and eliminating and removing the unproductive and unnecessary thoughts within that are filling that state of mind. That's a beautiful dream.
Yeah, now we talking. Because just
But
recently I was starting to what's it called? Just recently I was starting to control what affects me or not because I used to get mad so easily. So recently I just
nice.
started to control what affects me and whatnot.
That's
Yeah,
what I was just about to ask is, the main thing is identifying it in your life. How is that showing up? Where are you seeing that happen in life where you're kind of removing the thoughts that aren't in your benefit? Nice, nice.
yeah, I've been doing that 24/7. I can almost fully control what goes inside my mind instead of being just like a sponge to my environment.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
reflect back on how you did that. That way you can understand the mechanics and then you can sharpen your technique in the future when you go to replicate the same thing.
Yeah, I got you because like only like 3 nights ago, I was inside of the kitchen when I was cleaning it for that $50 I was talking to you about. But yeah, I was inside of the kitchen cleaning it, and I was just visualizing myself like in 70 years as me like being an old wise guy, and I'm just telling myself all these techniques that I can use to help with my anger
Yeah.
and controlling my emotions, using what can affect me and what can. And ever since I just been telling myself that I've been using that for myself, and
Mhm.
it's been working.
Nice, nice,
Hmm.
nice.
And
Okay.
that was one of the dreams I had last night. Another one was I don't know how I got it. Like I got launched somewhere and I went in the middle of the ocean. Then I saw two suns. The left sun was dim and the right sun was bright. And inside of the middle of the two was a moon. And I was just swimming in the ocean, swimming towards it. I was like, "Ooh, let me get a phone, let me get a phone." But then I remembered my phone was broke, so I just didn't do nothing. I believe I woke up after that, but I don't know what led me to go there inside of that dream.
Yeah. You said you were at the beach?
Um, nope. I
Oh.
got launched away and I went to the middle of the ocean. I don't know how.
Oh, okay. Middle of the ocean. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So, water represents life experience, right? Physical life experience. Now, an ocean is like the largest body of water. Well, anyone who remembers or anyone who has taken the dream interpretation masterclass will remember from week 3 where we went over the creation story and all of the like most of the time when water shows up in your dream, it's talking about this right here, physical experience. But
Hmm.
you'll remember all of this started out as water, right? The whole earth started out as water. And then the firmament was formed in the sky representing superconscious mind, firmament to separate the upper waters from the lower waters, meaning life experience up in the superconscious mind between life experience and the subconscious and conscious mind. But we really talk about it in the physical because also it says that the waters below the firmament were gathered together to form the land. And then land represents subconscious mind, right? So whenever you're dreaming about an ocean in that way, like if it's like you're on the land and you go out into the ocean, that's different. But when you're just like in the middle of the ocean, that's just speaking to the whole mind, not just the conscious, the subconscious, superconscious, but the whole mind. Another indication that it's the whole mind is there were two suns. Light represents awareness. So the sun is the greatest source of light we have available to us. So it will represent the greatest source of awareness that we have available to us, superconscious awareness. The power of superconscious mind is awareness. And so the second greatest light we have available to us, even if, I'm on this porch and yes, the light on this porch is providing more light than the nearly full moon. Like if I turn this light off, you guys probably won't be able to see me that well. But this light is only reaching to about maybe 10 feet past my balcony. You know what I mean? That moon is, even though it's not as bright right here as this one light, it's still reaching and lighting up and providing light over half the earth. You know, it might not be as bright as the sun, but it's the second brightest light available to us. And so it'll represent the second strongest level of awareness, which is subconscious awareness. And so that's also a way in understanding that you have the sun, the moon, and the water. So another indication that it's the whole mind here. And so that makes sense because you've been cleaning up your mind. You've been doing a lot to clean up your mind. And so your this is a dream. This dream is evidence that you are creating a stronger connection and alignment within yourself, within your body, your soul, and your spirit. You know, and that is instigating you and causing you to want to communicate more, improve on your communication because you like wanted to use your phone and but you realized it was broken. So it was like, okay, you know what? I am aligning more with myself. I need to strengthen how I'm communicating with myself, which is also part of let me clean up these thoughts. Like, hold on, that thought is not good for me. I need to stop thinking like that. Okay, I'm gonna stay on this line of thinking. That's a beautiful dream, man. Beautiful dream.
Yup, that's good. That's good. I mean, I wish for those past like a week I was doing that stuff, being on my grind still, but after my phone broke, I don't know what happened. Like the only practices I was doing was visualization a little bit and controlling my emotions. Fullest.
Good,
Fullest.
good.
That's what I was doing. I wasn't working
Yeah,
out. I mean, I barely meditate like 2 or 3 times in that whole week.
yeah,
But I mean, the solar plexus chakra, ever since I came from the sacral, the solar, that's the one I'm trying to activate right now, is doesn't seem as hard as the other ones at all. Like the first two. The first two, when I was trying to activate the root chakra, I was in the area where they were shooting every single night, and I was scared to death then. But now it's easy. In the sacral chakra, I was around 40 people all day long at school. So
yeah,
those two were really hard. But the sacral, I just kept telling myself, since it was hard in the beginning, you already know it's about to be easy now. You already
yeah,
know.
yeah. Nice, nice.
Yep.
Beautiful.
And I got
And that's just a matter of you know, willpower. As you continue these different exercises and disciplines, your willpower will continue to strengthen to where then when you know, go to re-experience different cycles in life and come back around to a cycle of, you know, life is starting to get a little more busy and hectic and things, your willpower will to be to a point eventually where that won't interfere with the disciplines that you have, you know, instilled into your life.
all right. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
Like only
yeah.
yesterday, I was on the Oculus, and then out of the blue, like it was like 20% out of the blue, it just cut off. Like
Mm,
just snapped off. It was plugged up and everything. I was like, you know what? Okay, it just shut off. Because that was weird. It never happened
yeah.
before. Never. So then I turned on the TV. What do you know what time it was? It was 4:44 exactly. I mean, I was like, yeah, I just had to connect the dots. So
Yeah.
then I went outside. I started meditating things about. But first, I walked around my yard and around the house thinking, like, where's another sign? I need to see what's going on right now. And the one clue I didn't pay attention to was that my dog got out the fence because the gate is broke. I couldn't find him nowhere. But then I was
Mm,
like, it's okay. He's probably going to come up to me while I meditate like he normally would. And I start meditating and I don't get nothing. And then I come back and he's gone. And I'm trying to figure out was that message about him or about something I'm supposed to be doing at that moment or like what was it about?
so you said you went outside and he was gone and then you started meditating and what?
Yeah, I went outside to look for him. I went in my yard to look for him. Then I
Yeah.
went back in the house, and since I didn't see him nowhere, I just figured he was somewhere I couldn't see him inside the yard or the house. So I just went to meditate. to see what the message was that I was trying to, that my, I don't know, sub or superconscious mind was trying to get to.
Over the fact that he was gone. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What happened?
Well, after I
What did you
meditated,
receive?
what did I receive?
Yeah, did you
I
receive
ain't
any kind
figured
of
that out
message?
yet.
Okay, okay.
Oh, I ain't figured that out yet, but like just on me, I saw 444 2 times. I saw it in the time, and I saw it when I was trying to log back into TikTok and stuff today. And I'm still trying to figure out what is the message. Maybe to get back on my grind or something, or that I know I'm on the right track, or I don't know. I'm trying to figure
Well,
it out.
you do one thing that you can do easily is utilize the universal language of the mind to derive the understanding of your physical experiences in life. This is more than just dreams. You know what I mean? Your regular life, you can understand deeper what you're experiencing, why you're experiencing it through interpreting that way. So, what do you think of when you think of like the first thing that comes to mind when you think of monkeys?
When I think of what?
Monkeys, the animal monkeys.
Shit, trees, climbing trees. I guess that.
Okay, well, I mean like the quality that the animal,
Oh, quality.
yeah, portrays.
I really don't know. An animal that stays in the jungle and likes to eat bananas and climb
Okay,
trees.
yeah.
That's the first
What
thing
about
I think about.
okay? What about turtle? A turtle.
Walking slowly on the beach all day.
Okay. What about a squirrel?
Running on a fence, eating nuts because that's all I see them doing in my yard. That's the only time
Yeah,
I see them is when they're on the fence.
yeah. But I mean, like what quality like does it portray? Like a turtle, a lot of times just slow, which is kind of what you
Oh,
described.
oh,
A squirrel like scattered, which is kind of what you described. You know, um, like what about a frog?
jumping,
Okay.
hopping.
What about a cat?
I'm scratching,
And what about a dog?
barking, and very nice, very nice.
And very nice. Okay. What about it makes it very nice?
Well, that it is very loving and caring to people
Okay.
that it respect,
So there
and
you
if
go.
you feed it well and treat it well.
So
Yep.
animals, regardless of who you are, the universal interpretation of animals is habitual ways of thinking. And
Hmm.
so for you, dogs will represent habitual ways of thinking in a loving way, and caring, Um, like for me, it's loyalty. And dogs represent loyalty, being loyal to myself. When I dream of a dog, it's about, how I don't even have to think about being loyal to myself. I've just had habitually out of habit. Those thoughts are already there. For you, loving a dog showing up in your dream, loving yourself, those thoughts just are there. You don't have to like remind yourself to love yourself, But in the experience of what you're experiencing, the dog isn't in your presence right now. You know what I mean? Or at that time. The dog's gone, missing. And so that normal habitual like mind way of thinking going on without having to like choose to think in that way of loving yourself isn't really as present as it used to be.
Okay, okay.
And what the way it ties into things that you've already stated, the number one form of self-love is self-discipline. And so you kind of said that you kind of fell away from some of your disciplines, that you were doing, at the time. It sounds like it was around the same time.
Yep,
Yeah.
most certainly. Okay,
So
I can.
yeah.
All right.
All right.
Let's think about anything else. Oh yeah, any tips on solar plexus? I mean, I know what to do with it and frequency to listen to. I'm just trying to figure out like where exactly it is. I feel like I know where it is, but I'm not completely sure.
Yeah. Do you know where your solar plexus is on your body? Like the physical? like bones, where the two ribs meet is called your solar plexus. And just below that is where the solar plexus chakra is. So
Oh,
like in between where your two ribs meet and your belly button, in between there is your solar plexus chakra. And that chakra is all about giving and receiving energy with other people. So the best time to work on that and work with that energy and work on perceiving that energy is when you're with other people. Have you ever been around other people and you can feel their energy, feel their vibe?
all the time.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
I just can't see it, but I can just feel it all the time.
Yeah. So now every time you're around people and you feel it, try to feel it through your solar plexus chakra.
Ooh, oh, yeah, I see that.
Yeah. And then anytime you're around, like you ever seen anybody, like people who stand like this? They just stand there with their hands like this, resting right here.
Yep.
Yeah, like their
Yeah, I
hands
see
like
that.
resting like this. Yeah, that's people
Uh-huh.
who, they're sitting there talking to you and like this, and then they're just, oh, yeah, 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 and then like this, oh, okay, okay. Or people that sit like this, or anything like this. It's a way in which they are either consciously or unconsciously guarding their solar plexus from being affected by other people's energy that they're standing around.
Okay.
I
The
knew this
way
one.
I'm
I
just
knew this one guy
uh,
that had like he had like 8 necklaces with crystals on them, and all of them hung like directly in front of his solar plexus chakra. And I only saw him at like these like big conventions and like spiritual conventions and stuff. And and then I saw him one day outside of there and he didn't have any of that on. And I just cracked up laughing. Like, oh, okay. I thought that that's what you were doing. Now I know.
I was always thinking is the pineal gland the only physical chakra.
Do what?
That's what I was thinking. I was always thinking about is the pineal gland the only physical chakra because I
No, there
know
are
the other
no
ones,
there are no
but this also
physical chakras. The every chakra has a ductless gland. So the pineal gland is associated with the crown chakra. The pituitary gland is the ductless gland associated with the brow chakra. The thyroid is the ductless gland associated with the throat chakra. The hypothalamus is with the heart chakra, and so on and so forth. Now it's ductless because scientists don't know where the the chemicals that are coming out of it are coming from. Well, that's because it's attached to a non-physical chakra, and the chakras transform non-physical energy into physical energy through that ductless gland, and they transform physical energy into non-physical energy. So it's not that the pineal gland is a physical chakra, it's that every chakra works with a physical part of the body to transfer that non-physical energy into physical energy and have a place to receive physical energy from in order to transform it into non-physical energy.
okay, bet because that's my most strongest spiritual
Yeah.
gift is receiving energy.
Yeah.
That's my most
Well,
strongest receiving energy.
let's see who else has some things to share so we can get into the coursework today. I don't know if we have time. Maybe we won't and save it for next week.
6:50. I didn't realize it was that late for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's already been an hour and 20 minutes. We've been at it. All right. I'm curious to see how Slim's been doing with these thoughts, with these affirmations, these mantras.
You know, to be honest with you, man, this week I've really got a lot on my plate, a lot going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So I kind of been slacking. You know what I mean? So just got some more inner work to do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Just been easing up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a matter
easing
of
up. There you go.
perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. I just been easing up. Yeah, because like I said, man, I just been kind of going through it this week.
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm still on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's like driving a car. You know what I mean? When you driving down the road, you ain't just stepping on the gas the whole time, are you?
Yeah,
You
that's
gotta
a fact.
slow down. You gotta slow down a little bit to hit them turns. You
Yeah,
know,
that's a fact.
but
That's a
you still
fact.
progressing. You still progressing. So that perspective is powerful. But I'm curious. Have you had any like experiences of like either just like physical manifestations or just awarenesses that the work that you've already put in has continued to produce this week?
Um, you know, to be honest, I kind of had the opposite of a manifestation, but um, yeah, no, I don't know, man. I've been pretty consistent. I've been saying them. Um, but this week, like I said, it just hasn't been a good week overall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well,
yeah.
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Nah, you could go ahead. You could go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say, from what it sounds like you said is that you've had the opposite an experience that is the opposite of abundance and
Yeah,
prosperity, right?
exactly. Definitely.
I would not be surprised at all if that was still a byproduct of what you've been doing, right?
Okay.
Because if if are you indoors right now?
Yeah, I'm indoors. Uh-huh.
Okay. So imagine you ever seen that old movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? You seem like you like
Yeah,
my
definitely.
age or around
Yeah,
my
I'm
age. Okay.
42. I'm 42.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
okay,
see.
yeah. So you know that one girl, she just start blowing up real
Yeah,
big.
yeah.
So imagine like your consciousness is like that. It's getting bigger, right? And so we talked about how places are states of mind, right? Well, if you're expanding, your abundance consciousness, prosperity consciousness is expanding.
Right.
Imagine if you started expanding in the room you're in right now. Eventually, you're
Mhm.
gonna fill up that whole space, right?
Right.
And then what's gonna happen? You're
Yeah,
gonna bump into the walls and
right, right,
have nowhere else to go.
right.
So if you want to continue to expand even further, what walls have you taken the dream interpretation masterclass yet?
No, I started it, but I didn't finish it.
Okay, that's fine. So walls are the form, and the function of a wall is to create a boundary, a limitation, right?
Right.
So how does that function relate to the consciousness? The boundaries within our mind, the bounds of our mind, the limitations, the personal limitations in our mind. So
Right.
eventually expanding far enough, you're going to come across and run into the limitations within your mind, which are exactly what you've been wanting to break down, right?
Right. Right.
So if you come across a limitation like that, two things are going to happen. You're either going to shrink back down,
Mm-hmm.
or you're going to input even more effort because it's going to take more, like expanding through space would probably be very easy, right?
Right.
But then
Right.
to continue to expand to break through the walls and the ceiling and the floor, that's
Right.
going to take a lot more effort and energy.
Right.
So it's going to take a little more effort and energy to now break down those walls, that you have been wanting to do since you started this exercise.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
That
I think
makes sense.
that the experience that you're having is a byproduct of, starting to brush up against those walls. Okay.
Mm,
So now you've created an experience for you in order for you to stretch even further to break through that, so as far as, so like, it was funny. That's why I laughed on the inside when I said, has it not, because kind of, I kind of sensed that there weren't any actual things happening, but like what awareness has all, like I threw that in there as well, just because I had a sense of that. And it was funny to me that you said actually the opposite. And the way you
yeah.
said it, I knew what you meant by it. And I was like, oh no, that's where the awareness is. So
Right.
I would suggest just reflecting on, what happened, how your mind and emotions, like the thoughts and emotions that you had, in response and reaction to it, like the ways you reacted and the ways you responded,
Right.
and just assess that and identify like the thoughts that were driving your decisions, the thoughts that were driving how you were thinking about it, the thoughts that were in the back of your mind that led you to that experience,
Right.
and
Right.
those are
Right.
going to be what you've been wanting to become more aware of. Like
Right.
it's like when you're digging, like if you have a tree you're trying to uproot, right? Because this belief that you're overpowering is like a strong tree, has deep roots.
Right. Right.
Now you've been digging for so long, now you're starting to come across some of the roots, that were at the cause of this that you're trying to overcome. So
Right.
now it's like, let me identify, okay, are these roots from this tree or some other tree? Now this tree, let's chop this motherfucker up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, absolutely. I get it. I
yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah. So yeah, so just reflect on that, see what comes.
Okay.
Nice. All right. How about you, Michelle, Oscar? How y'all been holding up this week?
Hey,
Hey, hey.
um, I've been good. Had my little dreams and I posted it in the chat
Okay,
and
yeah, yeah.
was trying to interpret it, you know, a little bit at least from what I could recall from the classes. But yeah, I had a couple of dreams and then I even had one last night that I didn't get to put in the chat too, but just trying to figure some stuff out. But I did have like a dream about an old friend that I don't talk to anymore, but
Hmm.
she and her family and me, and I guess I was traveling with somebody, but I don't know who. We were like in an airport,
Hmm.
and it seemed as though I was late getting somewhere. I think I may have had a connecting flight or something. I don't know. But I was late, and I just remember running from the airplane. I remember sitting in the airplane. It seemed like the airplane was topless though. Like it wasn't a top to it. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Um, and huh? Yeah. So the airplane was like open, and the seats were arranged differently. But anyway, once we got off the airplane, I was rushing through the airport, and I just smelled this strong scent of popcorn. You know how
Hmm.
popcorn smells when you like go to a movie theater or something?
Hmm.
And so there was this popcorn stand like in the mall. You know how, I mean, not like in the mall, but you know how the mall has like a food court or whatever. It
Yeah, yeah,
seemed
yeah.
like that type of setting.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh man, I really want some popcorn. This smells so good, but I'm going to be late. I'm going to miss my flight or wherever I was trying to go. But I ended up stopping to get this popcorn and they put it in this big tin bucket. And I was carrying this popcorn and eating it as I'm rushing through the airport. And then at the end of the airport, I met up with, well, I'm not gonna say met up with, but I ran into this old friend of mine. She was there with her family, but the family in actuality is no longer together. They're divorced and everything.
Hmm.
So it's kind of weird. But she was there with her family, and I tried to act like I didn't see her. I do that a lot. 'Cause I'm an introvert. I didn't really want to speak. You know how you try to like not make eye contact with somebody because you're trying
Hmm.
to avoid
Hmm.
speaking to them 'cause you just don't feel
Yeah,
like it.
yeah.
So that it was like one of those things. But then of course we made eye contact, and then we started talking,
It's
and they were
funny.
like, "Oh yeah, we just came back from Jamaica.
Yeah.
We just came back from Jamaica." And I was just sitting here like, wow, Dad, they went to Jamaica. I mean, we went wherever it was. It wasn't anything like that.
Yeah.
And I was just looking at her children, and she was catching me up on how they were doing and stuff. And so anyway, we're sitting there waiting for whatever flights we were going to take. And I looked up and saw the moon through like the roof. And I don't know if it was
Hmm.
like a sunroof or something, but you could see it was like windows. It seemed like
Yeah.
endless windows from like the side. Um, and you could see the moon clearly, and it was a full moon, but
Hmm.
it looked like somebody had put something on the moon, like you know how you change and put an effect on something on your phone.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah,
like some
yeah,
type
yeah.
of it was like that covering the moon, and I looked up and was like, "That's weird. Why does the moon look like that?" And then I looked back, and it was one of her kids that was shining whatever device they had on the moon to make it look distorted like that. But then they turned it off, and then I could see the moon clearly through the roof or whatever. So that dream was kind of, it had a lot. It seemed like it had a lot packed in there.
Yeah,
Nice
yeah,
messages or
yeah.
whatever.
I'm glad you shared it because that kind of changes up the original interpretation I responded to a little bit because like I don't think in the or maybe I missed, but I don't think in the Discord you said how like the plane didn't have a roof. You know what I mean? Or that
Yeah. Uh-huh.
you kind of acted like you didn't see her at first. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so let me
Yeah,
ask
I
real
didn't
quick.
want to get all
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
detailed like that in the message.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
And
I
I
get
was
it.
saying I didn't want to go into all that detail.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to, say the dream so we naturally will share more
Yeah.
as we're talking. I
Mm-hmm.
get it. Yeah. But I'm just saying
Mm-hmm.
that there's a lot more value here, which is really cool.
Okay.
So like the girl, what's the main quality you would see in her?
Um,
The type of person she is. The first word that comes to mind,
yeah. Ooh.
good or bad, whatever it is.
Uh,
Yeah, just what type of person is she?
I'm just trying to think because she's the type of person who will talk about another friend to you.
Hmm. So what's
And I
that?
guess that's kind of how
What
I
makes
felt. I
what
don't know
makes
if you call
somebody
it
do
a
that?
traitor.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Boom, traitor. Okay,
Uh,
like not like disloyal, essentially, like because that's what a traitor
yeah.
is, disloyal, right? Not being loyal, and
Yeah.
so everything in the dream is an aspect of your consciousness. So she's going to represent the part of you that's not all the way loyal to yourself, right? Which makes so much
Hmm.
sense to this dream. So
Mm-hmm.
so let's start in
Mm-hmm.
the beginning because dreams really do work in like a progression. Like this led to this, and this led to this, and so
Mm-hmm.
a big
We were
airplane
on the
is going to represent
yeah.
an organization, like a
Okay.
school or something, a vehicle that lots of people use to reach a common goal, destination, right? So
Mm-hmm.
a school, a job, a church,
Mm-hmm.
a social group, like this, we're a social
Mm-hmm.
group, we come together regularly for a common goal, and so there's
Mm-hmm.
a social group you're a part of that is, the top was missing. So that is allowing you to be more connected with your super conscious. Your spirit, right? And from
Mm-hmm.
that, what leads from that? You're one, you feel like you're a little late, right? So time represents
Mm-hmm.
are not is like time isn't linear like we see it in the physical. In the inner levels, it's vertical. Time represents the
Mm-hmm.
passing of time is the evolution of your consciousness, how high you're elevating in your mind. Like I'm sure all of us know someone who we went to high school with who still acts like they're in high school. I mean, 10, 15, 20, 30 years have gone by, but they haven't aged a day consciously. I mean? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure maybe we all know someone or have experienced someone, or we are that someone who is just way beyond their age, like a 10-year-old who acts
Mm-hmm.
like he's 25, just has a lot of wisdom somehow, you know? And so
Mm-hmm.
consciously, physical time has nothing to do with it. So whenever we're feeling late or like we're, late for something in a dream, it's symbolizing how we feel we should be further along consciously than we currently.
Mm-hmm.
But you're
Oh
putting
my
forth,
gosh, yes.
but you were running, right? So you were putting forth a lot of effort to continue to progress and get to where you're going, reach your goals. And this
Mm.
organization puts you in position to do that. And then from that, kind of like what we were talking about with Slim, as you continue to grow and expand, eventually you're going to come across, and become aware of limitations, and so
Mhm.
you came from through this progression and growth and where you're headed, you come across this part of yourself that's there inside you, that of where you're kind of
Mhm.
sometimes maybe are not loyal to yourself, meaning like
Mhm.
kind of like what Marquez was sharing earlier, where he kind of fell away from his disciplines for a little bit just because life was happening, things were going on, And so and what happened? The dog was gone, and that's how we ended up interpreting it in the language of the mind, is kind of this part of you that is loyal and loving of yourself is kind of missing right now. It's MIA. And so you're
Mm,
becoming aware of that part of there is a part of you that's like that sometimes. But what do? You at first try to act like it's not there. Like, no, no, that ain't me. That ain't no part of me. I do love myself. I'm always loyal to myself. I'm never disloyal to myself. But it's like, I mean, at times it can show up, and any of us are
yes.
capable of doing it. And all of us in some way do, but eventually
Mhm.
you do become aware of it, and you're able to identify, this is here, but it's not really me. It's foreign. It just came from Jamaica. It's a foreign, it's not
Mhm.
really what I'm used to, but it is there, you know. And
Mm,
what that then affords you is more clarity in your subconscious awareness of what's going on underneath the surface. You know what I mean? Because the moon, like we talked about
mhm,
earlier, represents subconscious awareness. And it
mhm.
was kind of distorted, but then brought more clarity.
Mm.
So that's and
That
that's
makes so much
that's
sense.
way deeper than what I typed. You know what I mean? Just because of those two
Yeah, no,
different things.
it makes so much sense because I went through something over the weekend. So I'm going through a custody battle with my youngest son and my ex. And over the weekend, I actually had to put together a whole bunch of documents and go dig through a lot of um, old records and just resurfacing a lot of, negative emotions,
Hmm.
which carried over all the way up until today, as a matter of fact, because I was supposed to be at a court hearing today, which ended up being postponed. So all weekend long, I had to focus on this particular situation, which I didn't want. And it brought
Hmm.
up some feelings, some negative. And makes sense because this dream happened within the past, well, I don't even know when I posted it, but it might have been like what, 2 or 3 days ago or so.
Hmm.
So this was like right around the time where I was going through all of this stuff with my ex. And as you're saying that, I'm not loyal to myself. I wasn't being loyal to myself. I knew I wasn't being loyal to myself when I would speak, or not even speak it, but just think something negative about myself. Like,
Hmm.
dang, I was so stupid. Like, why did I go through that with this person? Like, why did I put up with this? And I just went down this whole spiral at times, like beating myself up about it. So it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And that also might be how like that awareness kind of brought in the feeling of, you know, man, I feel like I was past this. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like, man, am I not as far along as I thought I was?
Yes,
I'm behind. I'm behind schedule.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That makes so much sense though.
But you're
Yep.
putting forth effort. You're putting forth the effort to continue to progress. It doesn't matter where you're at or where
Yeah.
you should be. You're progressing no matter where you're at. You're progressing. I mean, no matter what got you to where you're
Yes.
at, that doesn't matter. That's gone. It's over. Nothing we can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
You're progressing. So that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It's a lot more than most can say.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a continual. I try to do something every single day. The concentration exercise with the candle, I still try to continue to do that. I'm not as disciplined with doing it at the same time a day because my schedule has changed some. So I'm trying to find a way to fit it in my schedule. But if I don't do that, I usually will, right before I go to sleep, I'll just do like a meditation, an intense meditation, and try to focus on what it is that I'm trying to what do you call it? Manifest. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay. Okay. Beautiful.
So I have some other dreams, but I won't take up time because we've spent a lot of time already. So
It's
I'll
okay.
just post them in the Discord.
I've resigned the fact when I was thinking about it and I said something about it earlier. We'll probably postpone this. And at the tail end of what you were saying, I'll admit I was a little distracted because I was thinking um, of maybe finding out from everyone what day may work because as this mentorship is growing, there's more people. Like I think this is the most we've ever had in a Wednesday Zoom. Um, like at one time. We've had people coming in and out before, but we may need to like separate the like weekly Zoom of, you know, sharing kind of what we're experiencing, what we're going through, and then me providing feedback on that. And then making a separate day of like, okay, here's the lesson plan focus on what we're providing and presenting today, kind of thing.
So, what's up, Tarak? How you doing?
Oscar, how's it going? I'm doing well,
Good,
brother.
good.
I'm doing well, man.
Oh,
Life
good.
is like, I feel like I've been on a bullet train for the last 8 weeks.
Ah, nice. That's good, huh?
Great. Yeah, it's been great. It's been great.
That's good, man. No, so I've been doing concentration work. I do my breath works and um the concentration when I'm concentrating. I mean, I don't do I haven't tried the candle, but I try to concentrate on just looking at one object. Say I'm looking at a plant, and I'm
Mhm.
just looking at the plant. Yeah, but what I'm starting to realize now is that the more I do it, like it seems like it's like my vision is so intense to it that everything turns white.
Mhm.
Yeah, why is that? Like it's just like whoa, like it just zooms into that object or whatever it is that I'm looking at. But
Mhm.
like around, like say I'm looking at it, and then but around my vision it turns white. Like
Yeah. Nice.
that's
And so
um
for everybody listening, things like this is what I'm really listening for. You know what I mean? As far as when you're sharing your experiences specifically for these different exercises. Like this is a sign that your ability to hold your attention somewhere has gotten to a point where your eyes have now started to become static and still. And that's the first thing that's going to still before your mind starts to still through the level of concentration. So this is a sign that your level of concentration has reached a certain point. It's like a checkpoint, kind of, you know, a
mm,
landmark, you know. And what's happening is the negative effect essentially. So for you, it's white. For other people, it could be black, darkness. Everything else turns black and dark except for what you're looking at. But it's that your eyes are holding still for long enough to where everything else except for what you're concentrating on fades away. Your attention is so focused that even using your attention of sight or your sense of sight, you have refined it and zeroed it down to where it's only giving energy to that one singular piece of what you're
mm,
seeing.
okay, okay. Yeah, because when I do it, it's like whoa, and then like it's like okay, I look away, and then everything comes back to normal. Like I'm just like, man, what is that? Like that's awesome. You know, it gives me this nice feeling. You know, and I do it again, and it's like whoa, I'm doing it again, like right into it. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
But
it's yeah.
the thing to work on now is not allowing that to distract you.
Okay, okay, okay.
I mean, and it's gonna be hard at first because it's fascinating. It's new, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, oh shit, what is this? Oh, I can
yeah.
control it. I can make it happen and make it not happen.
Yeah, no. What happens is that when I'm doing it, and you know, all I do is look at whatever I'm looking at, concentrate on it, and you know what, and I do this while I'm driving too. Like, say I'm driving, and I'm like concentrated on the road ahead. I can do it, and all I do is just focus and give all the attention to whatever it is, and then like just concentrate on my breath.
Yeah,
And as I do that just it takes me there within seconds. It's just I'm there.
yeah,
Um.
yeah. It's where the term tunnel vision comes from.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Something like yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So
And
and then you know I have you know I write down my dreams. I've been writing down my dreams every day.
beautiful.
Um. And so I had this dream I had as so throughout my my whole life, my whole career, I'm a delivery guy. Like like I'm a truck driver, laborer. So I used to work for a produce company delivering produce to restaurants, you know, and that's all I've been known to do. And just recently, I started doing Uber, you know, Uber and Uber Eats and DoorDash. So I want to switch that up because I just can't do this labor work too much. Like I see that the money over here is better, so I'm working on
Yeah.
that. And so I had this dream that I'm a delivery driver, and I felt like some kind of tragedy had happened. So I'm delivering a pizza to a hospital, and then I see a man with his children, and they look sad. So I had this feeling like their mom had something to do with the tragedy because they look all sad and stuff. And then I was like waiting for the elevator to come as they were too.
Mhm.
But then I went first, like, and something in my head told me, "Oh, you should have let them go first." But like, I went first on some like I got to deliver this pizza, you know.
Mhm.
And then so as I'm waiting for the elevator, it doesn't seem like it's a hospital. All of a sudden, the elevator turns into like this, like inside of a cave, and you know
Mm.
how yeah, so it's like a cave, and and um and it so I'm on some kind of like cart now, like going up. So it's a cart, and it's I can see like the outside, like it's all dark and it's a cave, and
Yeah.
I see the workers, and I have no access to because I think I was supposed to go to the ninth floor, and then I had no access. Like I was pressing the ninth floor,
Uh-huh.
and I'm just like, okay, this is not working. And the worker that was working there, he's like some kind of maintenance guy. And I told him, hey, do I need a card to get access to this ninth floor? He's like, yeah, here, I'll give you mine. So I took it, and I had to go back all the way down, and had to go back all the way up, and then so then I couldn't get to the ninth floor. So then my dream switched up to like I'm a delivery guy again at my old job,
Mhm.
which so, and I started delivering to a restaurant, and I see workers there in the back, and they're all saying, oh, that I look good and that I've changed, and they were happy for me, and woke up. So I just been having a lot of these dreams of me working at that other job again. And I'm
Nice.
just saying.
Nice. Okay. Um, so like work is about like being productive, being in a productive state of mind. And so because when we're at work, we're producing for the company that we're working for, we're producing for ourselves, producing money, so it's all about being productive. And so, but more than just work, we're productive in many different ways, especially, with you doing these different spiritual and mental disciplines. You're being very productive. And so what that is then leading you to is becoming more aware of what needs to be healed, right? Because you then were delivering a pizza to a hospital. I mean, food represents knowledge, right? Because our teeth break down the food, and then it's easier to then digest the food that we've received. And then once we can digest it, then our body extracts the nutrients to become a permanent part of our body. And once it extracts the nutrients, then our body is then able to let go of the waste, the part of the food that is of no use to us. We let it go, because if we don't let it go, it's going to turn septic and make us sick, be toxic. Well, our life experiences are the same way. When we break down our life experiences, it's easier to swallow and digest what's happened. And then once we do that, it's very easy to then identify what we can learn from the experience, extract the nutrients out of it, the knowledge that then
Mm.
we then take, had all these experiences out here in the physical, and then we feed that knowledge into the subconscious mind, right? Where it's then stored within the soul as wisdom for our soul to carry forward past this life. And we have that wisdom. That's why we have that inner wisdom from all of our lifetimes, all of the understandings we built from all the experiences that we've had many lifetimes. We have that wisdom within us, right? And so when we then take that knowledge and extract that from the experience, that's some valuable learning, right? Because that's the only thing we can take with us from this life. I mean, is that knowledge. So that's the extreme value. So then we can then be so much more grateful for the experience that provided that value. It's easier to let go of that toxic experience. I mean, of that experience that can be toxic, and if we hold on to it and don't let it go, right? So that's what you're delivering to the hospital is the food, the knowledge. You know, you're bringing forth more by being productive. You're bringing forth more knowledge of the things that you need to heal and become more whole through, right? And then through that, you reach an elevator, and an elevator is going. Everybody can see my screen, right? Keep wiggling the mouse on it, right? Everybody can see this triangle here.
Yep, I see it.
I'm just double checking because I've been using it all night. But so an elevator is all about accessing these different levels of mind, right? And the number 9 represents completion. So by going within, you know, like I said earlier about the subconscious mind representing the earth. Everybody remember that? Subconscious mind representing the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So as you're getting into an elevator to go within, what does the hospital turn into? A cave. which is
Yeah.
which is another thing. Like I said, things that I listen for within your experiences and describing what you're going through with your exercises. I also listen in for different things going on within the dreams. This is another symbol that I really like listen in for. A cave. That's going to represent because cave is earth is subconscious mind, and a cave is a space carved out of the earth, right? So
Mhm.
there's a space that you've carved out within your mind. You know what I mean? So you're creating more space within your mind by with whatever you're doing. Ideally, that's usually from a result of meditation of some kind. Whether you're, you know, formally practicing a formal meditation where you sit down and create a still mind meditation, or you're just doing some sort of activity in your life that is very meditative for you, either or both. And so through through producing more knowledge within your life experiences and paying attention, focusing upon what you have to heal or become more whole within yourself, you're creating more space and going deeper within yourself. However, there's like specific thoughts that you need to obtain in order to go deeper. You know what I mean? Because like I said, things are the thoughts, the content of consciousness. So you had to get the access card, right, in order to reach the 9th level. But you still never really made it there. You just kind of had another dream where you were
Yeah,
then,
switch. Yeah.
then delivering at the old job, but everybody was happy to see you. You know, so it's a way in which, like, to show that there's like a progression, an elevation, elevator. There's an elevation in your, you know, the dream started out delivering and ended delivering, but you're like the old, like it's a way of showing that you reached a new level because 9 represents a new level, right? Because once you hit 9, you start all over again back at 1 with 10, but it's a different level. You know, it's a higher, it's above 9 actually, but it's still 1, 1, 0, right? So you reached a new level, so you're back to delivering, but it's different. You know, everybody's happy to see you. Your old job, but different. Beautiful dream, man. Beautiful dream.
Sweet. For sure, man. No, man. You know, I'm very grateful for everything. You know, you know, it's like and I am grateful for meeting this and meeting you, and you know, to learn this, you know, to interpret dreams because I wouldn't have thought that because I was just, it was like I was like, what was that? What was that dream? Because it felt so like whoa, you know. As I woke up, I was like, man, what was that? Like, man.
Yeah.
But now what you're saying makes sense, and for sure, it's like I'm you know I'm doing things and things that I've never um would have imagined before where now it's like wow, I'm finding this out and I'm going for it. So but for sure, man, I appreciate everything, man.
Nice. Yeah, no problem at all, man. No problem at all. You're more than welcome.
And yeah, and I mean I do you know, like the meditation, and you know, not and I don't even like sit down and meditate, you know, closing my I mean just by doing mantras, and I'm like concentrating on one thing, and then I do the mantras of Om and the rhythmic breathing, and I just I know it's tough. I know we're all busy. We're all busy, but there but it doesn't. You don't. For me, I don't think that you need like an hour or you need to do it for like half hour. You're like it's like for example, right when I'm about to jump in the shower, I do the rhythmic breathing really quick, like
Nice.
for like I do like 50 breaths. I'm doing super fast, and then I hold my breath in, and then I jump in the shower, and then I hold my breath, and I'm showering, see how fast I can take a shower, and then I let go, and stuff like that, like, oh, I'll concentrate on this thing for 5 minutes, or and that's it, and um I understand that we all are busy, but you could find just that you don't need to do it for a long time. As long as you like, I guess you got to put the effort to it, just for even if you do it for like 2 minutes, it's as long as you keep trying. That's what I say. So because I remember before I was like, man, there's no time, and I was like, man, I need to sit down and make sure everything's quiet so I can meditate. But these days we can't we don't have time like that. We're and but just giving it 5 minutes, of your time of the day, it's okay. You could do it. It's I'm not trying to be. I remember I used to think like that, but it's like, no, you could do this whenever. You could concentrate while you're driving. You could do mantras as you drive, and just concentrate on your breath, and not think about nothing else, because we all have to learn how to focus on the here and now moments, and the past nor the future doesn't exist at the here and now moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I used to think about the past and like, oh, and think about the future. It's like, dude, chill. What are you doing right now? Stop worrying about that. But yeah, I mean, I just want to give out, whoever's in here, just give them that advice, because life these days is just so much, like so much going on. Yeah, it is, and we're all conditioned to like, oh yeah, think about this and think about that, and think about 10 things at one time, and it's like driving people crazy. But yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the here and now, man. I'm grateful to meet everyone here and pass on this knowledge that I've learned.
Beautiful. I appreciate that, man. And one thing that I hear in what you were saying that's really tied to like kind of a theme that has been going on is you being on the other side of that personal limitation, right? Of I have no time. Like we talked about personal limitations before. That is one. I have no time. I used to be like that. I have no time. You know what I mean? And now I'm busier than I've ever been in my life by times 100. But I still feel like I have plenty of time to do anything. When in reality, I'm like behind on everything.
Yeah, exactly. I got three kids. I got a 7-year-old, I got a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old, and they're in. Like I said, man, it's and I got a job, and I got I'm trying to do stuff. I'm trying to start off something, and it's like it's a lot of things going on, but I still find a way. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do breath work here, right here, and I'm gonna do my little meditation or concentration right over here. And then throughout my whole day, I'm praying in my head. I do a lot of prayers in my head, so I don't think about nothing else but just my breath. And stuff like that, I guess helps me, and I feel like this. I don't have no stress or anything. Like before, I used to have this pain behind my neck, by my shoulder, because I was stressing. Yeah, I don't have that, and I'm grateful. I feel it, and I'm ready to pass this knowledge on to people. I know it'll be hard in the beginning, but if you follow a routine, man, you'll get there. Eventually, it'll seem very easy to you. So yeah,
Absolutely. You begin to create a habit. And like you said, if you're doing it in ways where you're just incorporating it already in your day, like if you can't, I get it. I mean, 10 minutes seems like a lot when you already naturally find things to fill your time with, so a concentration exercise is like, I ain't got time for it. Well, I mean, I'm sure either take a shower every day or do your dishes every day, or do your laundry, every once in a while. It's regular. The regular
Mm-hmm.
is more
Mm-hmm.
important than the amount. I mean, so you can create a concentration exercise in any of those. Yeah, I suggest a candle flame. I suggest a drop of water. I suggest a cloud or a clock hand, but I tell you why I'm suggesting those things. Because the nature of the mind is motion. And so those things move slow, but they're at least moving, but they're moving within one position. So it allows you to kind of gently stop into this. But that doesn't mean you have to do the exercise that way. Like I said, I'm a mentor, man. These are your exercises. This is your journey. So maybe it's like I don't have time for that, Tarak. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like I barely have two nickels to rub together. You want me to go buy candles and a candlestick order? Man, no. You know what I mean? So,
Gosh.
but find other ways. You do your dishes every day. Well, when you begin to do your dishes, from that point until you end, put all of your attention on the dishes.
Mm-hmm.
Take your time and really wash the dish with all of your attention on it. Because all of us, I mean, we've washed dishes so many times, we don't think our thoughts are all over the place, something
Yep.
else other than the dishes. Who thinks about dishes while they're doing dishes? Same with the shower. I mean, you've showered, tens of thousands of times in your life. You're not thinking about, what spot you're going to hit next or anything, or what spot you're hitting. You're just washing. Thinking about other stuff, thinking about your goals, thinking about the argument you had and what you should have said.
Mm-hmm.
But take those things that are normally mindless activities and use that for practicing concentration. So now you don't need any extra time. You know what I mean? You already have the time carved out in your day naturally. And so the regularness is so much more important. It's like if I filled up a bowl of water and left it out here on my balcony. After a week, that water is gone. It's evaporated. You know what I mean? Now I had one day where I put a lot of fucking water in that bowl, but then I didn't come back to that bowl until a week later to put more water into it. Now, if I just regularly, once every once in a while, dropped one drop of water into that bowl, I mean, well before the end of the week, it's overflowing. The evaporation can't keep up. But it was only one drop. But the fact that it was regular and consistent, that's where the value is really going to come in, especially like with things like concentration. You know what I mean? When you're practicing it more, like with Slim and the thought, it doesn't matter if he's thinking the thought 10,000 times more than the thought that he's trying to overcome, the belief he's trying to overcome. One day out of the month, no, he's, okay, I'm just reaching this limit to think it a little bit more than what I think it every day. I'm just putting effort in every day because this continual effort, whether one day it's, the full 4 to 5,000 that he's striving for, or it's only, 200 times, or just, 10 or 20 one day. But I'm doing something at least every once in a while. I'm putting at least one drop in that bowl. Maybe not a spoonful this day, but I'm doing something. It's just that perpetual effort is going to do so much. And so it's exactly what you're saying. So I thank you for that. And I
Oh,
and I was really getting caught up because that's like another thing that I really love about this, this space where you all can truly learn from each other, and share with what you have to share with each other. So I love it.
and it's been a journey. I mean, it's been this I've been doing my inner work for 4 or 5 years already, and and I look back and how I started. It's like, whoa, I remember I started like this, and I wasn't getting, at first I was getting impatient with it. It's like, whoa, how long is this gonna take? But now that I'm here, it's like, whoa, it's like you've come a long way. Like, wow, and keep going, and it's like, don't stop. Let's keep going. And I the place that where I'm at right now is it's great, and I just want to keep going. And
Yeah.
I feel like, man, there's more, let's go. And
Yeah.
it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah. What's the rush? You got the rest of your life.
Yeah, you're right. And now I'm even more patient with this. So I'm
Yeah,
here. Like I lived, I grew up in Chicago, born and raised, and
nice.
um, now I'm, finally I did something that I've been longing to do is to move out of there because the cold weather, I just can't handle it no more. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
it affects me. It affects my soul, my life, whatever it is.
yeah.
And I was like, man, I need sunshine every day. I need to see the sun and be out there and doing things. And now I'm over here in Arizona doing
Nice.
things, and it's like, man, it's wild. I'm here. There's no family or nothing like that. It's just my wife and I and my kids, and
Mhm.
we're doing it, man. I feel the love here, man. It's
Beautiful.
beautiful, and like I said, man, it just takes time. You got to be patient with it, but yeah, man, I'm thankful for the universe that I'm here and I'm
Yeah,
hearing it. I'm following my spirit guides. I'm following whatever the universe is, guiding me to. I'm doing it. So I was guided over here, and I was guided to meeting you. You know what I'm saying? Meeting
yeah,
meeting
yeah,
this group, and for sure, I'm thankful for TikTok for meeting you. You know what I'm saying? Like, TikTok.
yeah,
TikTok, bro, you meet a lot of people, and you get to see the pretenders and who are the real ones.
yeah,
Yeah. So I've been there, done that. So for
yeah.
sure.
Nice. Beautiful. Beautiful. And that's great to hear. Like once you were saying that, like I'm thankful for my guides in the universe for guiding me here because I'm doing it. That was so key to me because the universe, nature is only gonna do half. I mean, we have to do the rest, and so that was very key to what you were saying. I need to move to Arizona, sunshine all the time. Yeah, yeah, because I've been to Chicago in the wintertime, man.
Oh
I
man.
was all bundled up, wishing I had goggles. And my
And
friends, my friends
it
was
still
in,
wasn't enough.
yeah, my friends was in a jacket and just regular pants. I'm like, man, what? They're just like, what, man? It's just a regular day. It ain't even snowing. I'm like, man, it's freezing, man. I'm out here about to freeze mid stride. Nice, nice. Yeah, definitely. Thank you for sharing all that, man. Thank you. I wanna I wanna be able to wrap up because Jenna and King G are new here. So I want to give them a little space to kind of just introduce themselves and just share kind of what they're experiencing. I know Jenna's really into the rhythmic breathing. She's really excited for that. Um, she's been asking me all type of things ever since. So I'm gonna make a video to to put into the Discord. She's kind of instigated me to do that. So I'm gonna do that and put it in the Discord, just kind of reiterating what I shared here for you all to like go back and review, to kind of guide you in any way you want to do it yourself on your own time outside of us doing it as a group. So and also, since you guys are new here, just know, you don't have to, come up and say anything at all. It's whatever you want to do, however you want to interact and engage with this community we're kind of building here, is totally fine. You know, but yeah, if you want to come on and introduce yourself in any way and share in any way. Okay. All right. Well then we will wrap that up for tonight, and I'll put out a little poll in the group chat, actually two, and then one will be to kind of get a feel for if, or maybe I'll just ask now. Do you guys feel like we should kind of keep doing what we're doing and try to fit the lesson coursework into these? I mean, actually, you know, we definitely need to move that. But so I'll create two. I'll create two polls. We'll just do that. I'll create two polls, and one will be what time frame that I'm available next week that we can do the group breathing session, and then whichever one has the most entries That's one we'll pick. And then I'll also put another poll on what time space during the week that I will have 2 weeks in a row so that we can finish out this visualization course outside of our Wednesday nights. Yeah, there's 2 weeks left on this visualization course. Oh, I like the 2 sessions idea. Okay, yeah. It's at this point it's needed, because it's like, what do we, universal law sacrifice. Something's got to be sacrificed. I mean, either your all's experience and going deeper with that, which I think is the biggest value, more so than this coursework, because we already get into things that are in this coursework through our conversations as it's pertinent to whatever's brought up. But yeah, so we'll definitely do the 2 sessions, because we also don't want to sacrifice that, you know what I mean, and miss out on that. Cool, love and light to everyone. Yeah, so I'll put that out there. And as always, man, as you all come across things and want to share things, that's what the Discord chat is for. It isn't really for you all to be able to, communicate to me during the week, which is, that's there for that. But it's also there for you all to kind of, build together, grow together. You're having similar experiences, out of everybody in life. That these people in here, especially the ones who show up for these Wednesday sessions to try to go even deeper, with their own experiences, it's different. Like, you all putting these exercises like regular into your life, and whatever exercise it is, it's different than a lot of other people's spiritual experiences. Most people in this, spiritual community we have in a society today, there's a lot that are very disciplined and do different practices and things, but there's a lot that kind of, just kind of go with it and have an awareness, and experiences happen to them, and they kind of run off of the fuel of that, versus, we're out here trying to really understand ourselves, the mechanics of our mind, the interrelationships and interconnectedness of our body, soul, and spirit, trying to unify those closer together in order to become stronger masters of ourselves. Masters of our minds, masters over our attention, masters over our ego, so that we aren't a slave to those things. And so it is different. And so other people in here are going to be a lot different than majority of people that we also know in our life. And so this holds value. Like, some of the people that I originally started out in certain lesson plans with this, they live, like, a lot of them live all in Dallas, but I still have there's like a total bond with them that's so different. And I know this group is kind of starting out, we had like 2-3 years strong together. But it is just different. I can pick up the phone and talk to them and have conversations with them just in different ways, just because they understand the mechanics of things totally different than, most anybody else. So, yeah, just throwing that out there as well. I like the law of sacrifice. It makes so much sense. I had to sacrifice something, but I was able to get something else. Beautiful, beautiful. Jenna was sharing some experiential knowledge. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Well, till next week, y'all. I'll see you in the chat. Peace, peace.